Hey guys, I thought about something this morning. I'm very close to retirement age, about within a decade. Here's the thing: it's scary to think that I'm about a dozen or so years, less than a dozen or so years, I will be getting ready to retire, or planning on it. We're not planning on, but getting ready to. So anyway, I want to talk about that a little bit. Primarily to the old heads, my feelings on it, my take, and the things I'm going to need to do to get prepared for it. This is DJ Wolf Live. All right, guys. There was one time where you were young and enjoyed life, and you were probably about in your late teens, early 20s, back in the 80s, and thought, you know what, I got my whole life ahead of me. Well, your life is right now in 2019 is just about ahead of you, and you have to adjust certain things to wind your finances down so you can get ready for retirement. Now I got a couple of things I need to get me there that's already prepared. And then there's other things that I already have to do that get me prepared even furthermore. It's tough, because there's so many things that I want to do, and there's some things that I need to do now. One of the things I'm trying to do now, or I started doing, is starting to take inventory of some of the financials I need to take care of within the next couple of years, so that by the time I retire, I won't have to worry about being financially burdened more than I need to be. Real talk. And but it's something that you have to do. You don't want to be retired still paying bills. That's one of the things I said, and I thought about that a couple of nights ago. I said, I don't want to be paying bills, at a certain age. I don't. I just don't. I don't, I have a hard enough time trying to keep up with the bills that I got as it is. And then you worry about, dealing with your job and all of that stuff. So if you're within striking distance of retirement age, within about the next 10, 12 years, it's time to prepare right now. Not tomorrow, not in the next 20 years, but right now. Because you don't want to be 70 years old and talking about, welcome to McDonald's, may I take your order? No, you don't want to be doing that. At least I wouldn't, Maybe Walmart someplace. And speaking of that, I heard that they're actually going to cut the staff of most of the greeters that work at the Walmart. I just heard about that last week. I said, that's a damn shame. It's one of the reasons I actually like going to Walmart. And if that's the case, they'll be cutting greeters at other places like Home Depot, which some of those greeters are disabled, and a lot of those guys depend on that type of job. But I like those guys. I don't have a problem with them guys at all. I really don't. I think they should keep them going. They really should. They really should. And that's crap for them to be cutting people like that, man. Walmart is a 200+ billion dollar enterprise. I know it's for a fact. I've read the stats. Walmart make good money. All right. They have knocked out a lot of the box stores over the years. Not sure why or how, but they did. And Walmart is probably one of the busiest stores I've ever seen in my life. That place stay busy. And it doesn't matter what time of day it is. They usually have pretty good crowds. But in any case, you gotta prepare. you know. And I know getting old sucks. Trust me. I'm in my mid-50s. I ain't loving it. I'm glad I'm alive. I'm glad I made this far and continue to make it even further, God willing. But I know my dad, when he was down here years ago, he told me, he said, getting old sucks. And he right. And it sucks even more when you're getting old and you're starting to have a couple of ailments, maybe not major, but minor, and your parents are having ailments that are major, you know. And that's really fucked up, you know. And you want to keep up your wellness as well as theirs, especially to a point where they can't keep it up like they used to, you know. That's what really sucks. And I was home a couple months ago. I can't believe it's been that long ago. I was home a few months ago. It don't seem like, I swear it don't seem like 2 months since I was in Cleveland. It seems like I just got there, it's like I was just a couple of weeks ago. But I went there 2 months ago. Now, if I hadn't already told you guys about my dad's very ill right now. And I was going over, this before I even found out what he actually is suffering from. Before I found out the cause of what he's suffering from, I was in the house, my mother's house, the Wednesday before my sister left, and I broke down and cried, man. Because I looked at the insurance and talked about the nursing home and all that stuff, and I was just completely overwhelmed. I really was. With a lot of sadness. Because at that point, I know there's nothing else I could do. And come to find out, they told me there definitely was nothing else I could do. It's a bummer. You know, it sucks, man, because you're susceptible to more diseases and all of this other stuff, and we have to take inventory of our health, man. And I'm like I said, I'm doing it right now, my age. I don't eat a whole lot of junk anymore anyway. All cookies and candies and cakes and stuff, I'm not even into it. I did a DJ at a social, Valentine's Day social, about 2 weeks ago. And they offered me some cake, and I was like, I didn't want it. I couldn't eat it. I think I ate a small slice, and that was it. Done. I can't even eat sweets. I can't bring it to myself to eat sweets like that. There's certain foods I want to eat. Matter of fact, there's a lot of breads I don't want to eat anymore either. I had to cut all that out. Stuff was making me, you know, make me feel, bound me up, man. You know, I can't eat that stuff no more, man. And no matter how many times you work out or whatever, that stuff messes with your digestive system. It does, big time. You know that stuff no more. When you get older, certain foods you just can't eat. You can no longer eat that stuff. I can't believe it's just, oh my God, traffic is nuts. You just can't eat it anymore. What the hell? Oh my gosh, traffic is horrendous out here this morning. But anyway, take care of your health. Take care of your parents, man. Be there for your family, man. You know, because after all, you don't, you know, these politicians, I hate to round it back to the politicians and all of that, but those guys don't give a fuck. The insurance companies don't give a fuck. The hospitals really don't give a fuck. You know, my dad was in the hospital for 2 weeks before they decided to move him directly to a nursing home. They just got him just stable enough to move him into a nursing home. And he was in rehab for about 2 weeks and took him right back out. I said, these hospitals, they're all about the money. But I'll talk about that in another podcast. This is DJ Wolf, and I'm out.